Hey, what's going on, Myles?
Hey, Brian. Happy Friday.
Ooh, it's Friday. That means that doesn't mean anything to me.
Nah, it's just another day.
Yeah, more time to drink coffee.
That is true.
Yeah.
And it's just good. It's good to be back because I missed last Friday, not being able to do it. The last show we did together was when I was enduring the internet or lack of internet on the coast, and it was a blessing in disguise because it did mean I got to switch off quite a lot. But it's good to be back. And yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, so the last show you did was only 2 days earlier than the normal last show you would have done. So that's
I know,
not too bad. Not too bad.
But dude,
yeah.
Since then, the PSVR2 catalog has doubled.
Yeah. That's how it works, man. That's how it works. Every single time somebody needs a day off, shit hits the fan. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, speaking of shit hitting the fan, we got a lot of shit to cover today. So you ready to do this?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. This is PSVR GAMESCAST Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 Eyes Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live, 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure for all of those who like to listen with your eyes. It works so much better at 1 in the afternoon than it does at 6. And if you don't like that, then we also do it on podcast services of your choice. Thanks to our good friend Jamie who uploads this thing for us. Spotify. I'm sure there's a thing called Apple Podcasts. There's other things. Those of you who like to watch with your ears. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR without Parole. And the gentleman over here, way east, it's Myles Dyer from youtube.com/Myles.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Gamecats. Really looking forward to the show today. As we said in the preamble, there's just been so much development in the world of PSVR 2. It's really, really exciting. But also slightly daunting because, we have to play all these games.
It's, from the outside perspective, that's what it seems like, right? They're like, everyone's like, oh, woe is me. You have to play a bunch of new fucking games. That must suck. And then like people have no idea. It's like 10% of the job. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, you're trying to get through it, and you're not playing them as a casual gamer. You're playing them in a sense of always thinking about like, am I getting a good sense of the game? Do I need to give this game a bit longer? But I've got all these other games I need to play as well. And then obviously you want to sort of jump and get ahead of the curve because you want to be doing your reviews as soon as they come out.
Yeah.
So you're kind of constrained, and then when another game is announced, it's like, oh, it's gonna be dropped. We're dropping it today. You're like, okay. What do I do about that? And although I don't have a lot of those issues, it's something I'm probably going to start self-imposing because I'm ramping up my Let's Play efforts, and I'm doing 6 Let's Plays this weekend. I think 2 of the games are games that have just come out. So Pixel Ripped, and I'll be doing Survive.
Okay, that's 2. 4 more to go. What else you got?
One of them you're going to laugh at because I've got some games that aren't so popular. So the 6 I'm doing. So on Saturday, I'm doing Pixel Rip 1978. I'm doing Battle for Cybertron, the Transformers game, Beyond Reality because the Transformers movie's just come out. Survive, and then on Sunday I'm doing Rhythm Planet.
Okay.
Beat Saber. And Humanity, but then the following week there'll be some new games that will probably come out by then.
Yeah, I mean next week. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like it's awesome that you're playing so many games this weekend. Of course, games like Rhythm Planet could skip maybe, but it was actually pretty fun what I played. So not bad.
I enjoyed the little I played it, and this is the thing is I am planning on playing every PSVR 2 title. So every weekend, I'm going to be playing some of the big hitters, but sprinkled in between are some of the hidden gems or hidden turds, depending on what people think they are.
For sure. But yeah, man, like if the following weekend you're not playing like VR Skater and C Smash and like some of the new games that come out, we're going to have words. Or you can have words with Myles, because you can go subscribe to him right now at youtube.com/Myles. Click the link in the description below. Go subscribe to Myles so that you can be in on all 6 of his live streams this weekend. I don't even know what to say about that. I will try to be there for Survive. That's what I said. I will try to be there for Survive.
Yeah, that'd be really cool if we can team up for that. That'd be really, really good.
Be really good. Man, Bear Pig, Gamecat with a $2 tip in the chat says, no dedicated PSVR2 showcase, but game trailers galore. I think, Myles, it's just too big for a showcase. I think that's what happened, right? Somebody said, there's like 1,000 PSVR2 announcements coming our way. We can't do a showcase because there's just not enough room for them. So they said, we'll just dole them out on the PlayStation blog. We'll just let Meta debut some of them for us. We'll let Upload debut some of them for us. Some of this will just appear as a trailer randomly on our YouTube channel. That's a much better way to do it, don't you think?
I love it. I do think, though, as you're doing these videos with like the updates and the like different trailers, I just feel like maybe you should just actually construct a video in the style of a state of play or like a PSVR2 showcase, and just present it. Even if there's stuff that's already been announced, well, people will look at it and then still go, "Oh yeah, that's what we want from Sony." Like, you should kind of just do it. Like, it doesn't matter if it's sure.
It would be easy. I mean, I'll just take all the interstitial transitions, right, and then just copy and paste them into my video. There you go. And then I'll just use a voice modulator to make myself sound like the women that they use. That'll be fine.
There we go.
Yeah,
sorted.
Also, I mean, and maybe Shuhei will retweet it. Maybe he'll tweet about my video, right? Maybe I'll get some attention. If you guys didn't see, Shuhei just tweeted my 14 game announcement video from was that yesterday? Man, everything just runs together.
Yeah, it was. It says it was a day ago, so it could have been the day before. I don't know.
That's what it was. But
but that says something as well. Like, he's leading the charge with indie games and like as a massive champion for PSVR2. Mm-hmm. So if people that work for Sony are sharing your stuff, that says a lot. So good work, dude.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Myles. I appreciate that. What's up, everybody in the chat? How's it going? Dude, let's, I really want to kick this off with some new exciting news, stuff that we haven't talked about yet on the channel at all. Some PlayStation VR2 news dropped on the PlayStation blog yesterday, and I re-uploaded one of the trailers, but the important one that I thought, but that doesn't mean there was no other news that dropped yesterday that wasn't worth talking about. It's just time to talk about it now. That's a lot of words to say. Myles, have you seen the trailer for Tiger Blade?
I have. I actually saw it on one of your videos.
That can't be right.
Did you not cover it?
I'm pretty sure I didn't.
I thought you did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I definitely saw it, but yeah.
Okay. Well,
you've been showing so many trailers and that, Brian. I just assumed every time I see a trailer now, even if it's on the official PlayStation channel, that it's a PSVR without Parole one.
Yeah, totally understandable. Myles, what was your impression from watching this? What kind of game did you think this was watching the trailer? I mean, I don't know if you read about it on the PlayStation blog, but just watching this, especially with the soundtrack that's going on, what kind of game did you think this was?
Yeah, I didn't read the PlayStation blog,
Perfect.
but I had seen the description on the store, which is obviously a lot more limited. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it looks kind of interesting. I mean, I like the fact that you've got this melee weapon and you've got the pistol, and there's good alternation. It looks like, if I remember rightly, that you could block with the sword, like bullets. I might have misremembered that, but yeah, I mean, it looks cool. It looks quirky, but I always approach these things with the sort of humbleness that no matter how things look on a flat screen trailer, you're never really going to know until you're in there with the headset and you get a feeling of how the game feels like when you're in that world. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely, for sure. Well, Myles, I got to tell you that when I saw this trailer, I was like, I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I think I was very judgmental about it at first. When I first looked at it, I was like, why does everybody need a pistol whip? Why does everybody need? Because it seemed like it was some kind of rhythm game. It seemed like you were shooting to the beat, you were slashing to the beat, and I was disappointed, and I really didn't give it the time of day. And then I went back and rewatched it later, and read the PlayStation blog post that went along with it, and I was really surprised because it's a much different game than I thought it was. It's not a rhythm game at all, which is good because I mean, nothing wrong with rhythm games, but I feel like we've got a decent amount for the time being. We just got Beat Saber on PlayStation VR2. So if you don't mind, I'd like to kind of read about this so that everybody's on the same page. Does that work for you?
No, please do.
All right, excellent. Well, then we've got over here, this is Jan Suket, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, the co-founder and CEO of Iki Masahu. I fucking don't know how to pronounce that either. So that's a lot of me being really dumb. Tiger Blade brings all the stylish, adrenaline-soaked combat of the very best Korean neo-noir action cinema to PSVR 2. Slash and blast your way through ranks of hoodlums in a high-stakes chase through the atmospheric and meticulously recreated marketplaces, docks, alleys, and streets of Siwon. Set in an alternate Korea, you take the role of the deadliest assassin working for the Horangi chapter of the Tiger Clans. I should have read this ahead of time. Ordered to steal a mysterious package from a rival chapter, you were shocked to find the object of the heist is in fact a tiger cub. Thought extinct for hundreds of years, the mythical creature is now desired by every gang in the city. Every gang, Myles, just wants a cuddly little tiger cub, right? That's what this game is all about, apparently. Tiger Blade's designed to be highly replayable with a scoring and ranking system, online leaderboards, and speed running and secondary objectives. The heart-pounding non-stop action is further intensified thanks to haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, and headset rumble. To complete the Korean influence that runs through Tiger Blade, the action will be played to the beat of the original Korean hip-hop. Just to the beat of original Korean hip-hop. If you enjoyed the music for the trailer, Seatbelt by Synths, then you're going to love what's in store.
I mean, my initial thoughts are I'm going to have a good time with this game because these are the sort of games where you really get into the feel of it. Mm-hmm. And once you feel that rhythm, you want to put the difficulty up and master it and just get faster and faster at it. I mean, I know that I'm kind of a lone voice when it comes to the Zombieland PSVR 2 title, but I had such a good time with it because when you play those harder difficulties and you are connecting those headshots and getting adrenaline, which causes slow-mo and allows you to rack up bigger combos, it just feels so good and satisfying, especially with all the haptics that come with the controllers. Zombieland, however, it was a rail shooter. Although it's like you teleport from room to room, so it's very much like Time Crisis. Whereas this, unless I'm mistaken, it is full locomotion.
I don't know, Myles. I don't know. Like a lot of this action looks very stationary. And it looks like you're almost teleporting from enemy. Like the second you kill an enemy, you teleport to the next enemy. But that might not be the case either. Like there's definitely moments during this where you're like, oh wait, maybe I am in control of this. So I as much as I think this is a great trailer, I don't think it gives us the information that we need to know if it's the kind of game we're looking for.
And no matter which way it goes, I think it can be a great game for either reasons, because when it is static and it's, the kind of classic Time Crisis, it's set pieces. And if you're trying to get, you're competing on high scores with your friends and things, then that can be a lot of fun. I think there's real potential on it. There's always a lot of games that at first glance I'm like, it seems fine, just not my thing, and then I jump into it and absolutely have a blast. So hopefully it'll be one of them.
Yeah, I think I realized something recently, Myles, that I hate everything on first glance.
No, it's fair enough, right? You come across we I say you, I mean like generally us. It's very easy to be just cynical because
we've been beat down for years. They forced us to become cynical. The promise. Yeah. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed optimist. No longer. Yeah. We had a bunch.
And it's the best way to be. It's the best way to be, because it means you're more likely to be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Even if it's an adequate game, you're like, well, at least it wasn't a complete shit show like I thought it was going to be.
No, for sure. In fact, I mean, although I will say, obviously, everybody who watches the channel knows that you only have to be a mediocre horror game to get me excited, right? You don't, as long as the trailer just looks remotely scary, I'm like, I'm sold, man. I'll fucking buy this shit.
As long as it's in the dark.
Yeah, that gets me. That gets me
a flashlight.
excited. Yeah, flashlights. That's right. Waleed is now a Gamecat, specifically White Tiger. Canadian 550 says, I'm amazed how many great games are coming to PSVR 2. Pavlov update has totally fixed the tracking issue for me. Tiger Blade and Wanderer looks great. Dude, I heard about this massive Pavlov update, and I've been meaning to get around to checking it out. And it's just, I just haven't had time. Like, it's been so crazy with new stuff. Have you had a chance to check that out? I know that you're a big Pavlov fan.
Yeah, I haven't been on Pavlov for many weeks, unfortunately. And I did see the update, the trailer for it, and it looked like it was just cross-play. And then it was showcasing all the features that PSVR 2 has had, but to have it, now linked up. So is it on PC VR that they're able to play those modes as well? I didn't know there was actually many upgrades. I mean, I didn't see patch notes. So to hear there are things like tracking issue fixes is very good to hear. So yeah, I'll definitely have to jump back into it.
Yeah. Hick X. It's hard to say. With the $5 tip says, have you used a Woojer device? Thumper is amazing with it. I've also played RE8 a bit with it, and it takes the intensity up. Anyone else tried one? Is this the haptic vest? Is that what the Woojer is? Am I misremembering? Oh,
maybe. I've seen a lot of people trying out these haptic vests recently and saying they're actually really good. But I'm always like curious to know with PSVR 2 how it works with those games, because obviously haptics are made for the headset and the controllers. What you feel in your body, is it just mirroring, what the headset's doing, for example? Like it. Yeah, I think it's not like you're getting shot in the body, you feel it in the body. It's not going to be like that.
I think things can be programmed for the Woojer vest so that it's a little bit more position sensitive in terms of the feedback, in terms of the haptics. I just looked it up on Woojer.com for intensive gaming, VR, movies, and audio professionals. $600.
Okay, I'll think about it.
Yeah, here I'm the guy that's like, I don't mind the wire, but I'm good with treadmills. I'm good with putting on pieces of clothing. Like, there's already enough friction with VR. I don't need to like actually put something on my body. I'm sure it's amazing, right? I trust Hick explicitly, and so I'm sure I take his judgment very seriously, and I'm sure it's an amazing experience. I can't justify $600 to add a little bit to the immersion. Not for me. But if Woojer, you're out there and you want to send me one, I will fucking try it for sure.
Do it.
Myles will also try one. You know what? Wes and AJ, I'm betting they'll try one too. Send us 4.
Yeah, we'll all try it while playing Survive 4-player.
Right. Send us $2,400 worth of haptic vest, and we'll give it a shot. Waleed is now a Gamecat, specifically a White Tiger with the Canadian 220, says, why weren't these games in a Sony showcase? I mean, the only obvious answer, Myles, is that Sony wants PlayStation VR 2 to fail. Obviously.
The truth is they had enough to do a state of play. But then it's like they could have done a great state of play where they showed the Wanderer trailer and they had like a little interview with, because also people that would watch a VR state of play are the kinds of people that would love to hear the developers talking a bit about the games in between as well. Like, just because we're in this kind of Wild West era of gaming with PlayStation VR 2, we're interested in like how are devs like taking advantage of this new technology. And so, yeah, it'd be cool to have, the Wanderer trailer and then hear them just talk for like, a minute and a half about, what the PSVR 2 does. Like they always do it in a blog post and like, that's fair enough, but do it on video. And it's again, an issue about priorities.
Yeah. Yeah. With that showcase, with what we got, we got footage of Resident Evil 4 for the first time being played in VR which was amazing. And then we got, we got some Synapse, we got some Arizona Sunshine 2, right? They were decent additions to that. But I do think that with the reaction that Wanderer got, that trailer, the reactions for that were so positive. If you look at the comments on my video, if you look at the ones on the PlayStation YouTube channel, everybody is just like thrilled with what they've done to this game, and they're like, this is what I bought a PSVR2 for. And that would have like stood side by side with RE4 for people and been like, yeah, that was a decent showing. So it's a shame that trailer couldn't have been just ready a couple weeks earlier.
Yeah.
B Smith 2332 with a $10 tip says, on the topic of retro gaming, which is my favorite topic, with the new Pixel Ripped, I just picked up a Sega Genesis Game Genie to surprise it. And to my surprise, it has a Codemaster logo on it. The same company who released Dirt Rally VR on PSVR. Yeah, Codemaster's been around forever.
Yeah, man.
I got to be honest, I didn't remember that the Game Genie was made by Codemasters. Like that was... You could have given me 20 guesses. I don't think that would have been in my top. But yeah, they've been around forever.
Well, they did the original Micro Machines, didn't they? Which I used to love those games.
Like on NES and stuff, right? Like, yep. That was really good. Good stuff.
Super good.
Yeah. That's enough of Tiger Blade. Myles, you and I both played the update that came to PSVR 2 today for the PSVR 1 Classic. There's the biggest quotations you've ever seen around the word classic. Survive. Myles,
so
yeah, talk to me, man.
So Survive was a game that when it came out, my first thought was, this is going to be so good on PSVR 2, as in this has come out at the tail end of PSVR. It's got a lot of potential, but I can see a lot of limitations. I played it with my friend Johnny just before the show, and he just highlighted what we felt about a lot of these games, which is, thank goodness the tracking is sorted. Mm-hmm. Now, using the guns in this version is still a bit of an issue, but shotguns, I remember when playing Resident Evil Village, and just the idea of having to reload every individual shell into a shotgun is something I just wanted to stay a hell away from on PSVR. It's why I didn't really enjoy using shotguns on Saints and Sinners on PSVR, whereas on PSVR 2, no, it's great now. It's really good. But it was funny because jumping into it before the show, just to sort of set it up, etc. I spent like 10 minutes like, how do you do multiplayer again? And I literally, as I was going through the trial and error, I was doing the same stuff I remember doing on PSVR, and I was like,
with me,
okay,
right?
Yeah. And it was like, and then I was like, oh, the tablet.
Yeah.
And obviously this time the tablet does work, because when we tried it, you remember when it came out on PSVR, the multiplayer wasn't working at all. I think we could see each other, but it just wouldn't join.
Yep.
But yeah. So I just played the tutorial. Me and my friend, we joined a random just to see what it was like. So we had a 3-player thing. Ooh. And it was cool. I like the fact that you don't have a name over people's characters. You know, there's no HUD. So you are kind of talking to people. It's proximity chats.
Good.
I like that. It's interesting. And I'm just excited to give it a proper go this time and just see how the game plays with, more than 2 players, because 2 players just didn't feel like enough. One mission I remember in particular, when playing on PSVR, was you had to like pick up these gas canisters from a gas station and bring it back to your base, which meant, and I think you needed 2 of them, which meant you basically, one of you's got to carry both of them, because the other's going to have 2 hands to reload. We found out the hard way, where we're like, oh no, we'll take 1 each and a gun, and then we're like, oh no, I need to reload, need to drop the gas canister, and now with all the move controller tracking issues, it was just a complete mess. Whereas now, if you got 3 or 4 players, you can actually start delegating roles, and different tools for different situations. So, it's not a perfect game, but I am looking forward to playing it more.
Yeah, we had the exact same problem when AJ and I were playing, because it was the gas can thing, and you really, this game was designed for 4 players, and they had to limit it to 2 players when it came to PSVR 1. I was disappointed when I started up today because I was kind of expecting it to be like, okay, this game's not going to look great, right? It's still very much an indie game. Wes warned us before we ever played it on PSVR1. He goes, on PC, he's like, this game is pretty janky, right? And very much an indie game. He's like, but when you get into it, it's fun. So I was but I was still a little bit surprised today when I started up and I was like, this doesn't look much better than the PSVR1 version, right? It's still just very kind of a little bit muddy. The textures don't look great. It could be way sharper. But and like simple things like there's plenty to do with your pistol, like reloading, cocking it back.
Cocking it back felt really awkward. Did it for you as well?
Well, because sometimes I would grab that when I was just trying to steady my hand. Like it's too easy to do the wrong thing in this game. Very frequently it's easy to do the wrong thing. Like I forget what I was doing. I was just trying to pick something up off of a table, and I kept grabbing a clip out of my waist. Off my waistband, and I was like, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. So I just kept pulling stuff out of my inventory accidentally. So it's a janky mess, man. Like that's just what Survive is. If anybody's waiting for a patch to play Survive, I don't think you're going to get one. That's what this game has been for years. So I just think that I think that it's going to be very Arizona Sunshine like. Right? You go in, you expect the jank, you play with friends, you have a good time, you laugh at the ridiculous stuff that's in the game. But it's long, man. Apparently this is upwards of 20 hours. So I am down to get in there, and I'm excited to play it, despite all the jank. I'm down for a good kind of open world-ish mission-based zombie shooter. I'm excited.
I think there's a mode on it that it happened tonight, and it also happened on PSVR, and I never went back to it because it was completely accidental. There's a mode where you just spawn in the city, and I think it's multiplayer, and so you just salvage weapons and stuff, and you go out there and you try and survive and meet up with other players. I'm definitely looking forward to giving that another go. What was the other thing I was going to say about it? When we played it on PSVR, the draw distance was very short, but we said it gave it a really cool PS1 Silent Hill feel, which actually worked really well. And actually, when Silent Hill came out, that was the reason it was so foggy. It was also so they didn't have to render a long draw distance. There was a moment towards the end of my 20 minutes playing before the show where I found a shotgun, cocked it, shot a zombie in the head that was running towards us. And with the graphics being what they were, I just had this instant moment of just remembering playing Resident Evil 2 on PlayStation, and the graphics are kind of similar. And I was just like, you know what? I love this. This feels like playing old school Resident Evil in VR. And so, yeah, I'm all for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, games don't have to be perfect to be fun, right? Like
that's it.
There's certainly plenty of games out there that are 6 out of 10s that I've really, really enjoyed, and I do feel like that's where this is going to fall, right? Like unless something major happens, because I played the first few hours on PSVR1, unless something major happens, like unless there's some crazy awesome boss battles, unless there's some really, really interesting missions, it's definitely one of those high 6 games that you have to rate lower just because of all the jank, but actually makes it that high in the rating scale because it's that much fun with friends. I would not play the single player if anybody's curious. I would not play.
Yeah, I wouldn't play it. No way. Agreed.
Speaking of single player, the thing we got yesterday that everybody lost their minds over, that was super crazy exciting, that we can't believe wasn't in a showcase, was the new trailer for the Wanderer remake, The Fragments of Fate. And this really is a remake. I mean, this trailer is just beautiful. Myles, you were telling me you started Wanderer. How far did you get into it on PSVR1?
Oh, I was 3 or 4 hours into it at least. But it was one of those games where I know that generally speaking, there is an order that you complete the game in, but also there's a lot of different. There are still different. You can do the puzzles in different orders. I don't know. Or do you feel it is very linear? I think you can do things in your own way, but generally speaking, you will need to go to certain areas to be able to unlock others. But I don't know how many worlds there are in that game, but I unlocked many of them. And it just got to that point where it was towards the end of the PSVR cycle. There was other games that I wanted to play before I knew I was going to put my PSVR headset away forever. And this was a game I felt it has to come to PSVR 2, because it felt like a game that was really pushing the hardware to its limits. And this trailer amazed me for a couple of reasons. One, it just looks absolutely incredible, and we're going to go through all that bit by bit in a moment. But secondly, it was just great to know that these devs did what I felt the game deserved, which was give it another shot with the hardware boost that comes with PSVR 2. And it was mind-blowing on PSVR. I think it's going to be absolutely astonishing. I don't know who it was I heard, but again, it might be you, it might be someone else I read. This is the sort of Half-Life Alyx tier of like VR games. It's that good when you think of like, we talk about VRAF games, which, they're just made for the medium, but then there are just certain games that are of such a top quality. It's like, without any question, you have to experience this, and Wanderer is without doubt one of those games.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, games like this don't come along very often, and I think that this would have gotten a 10 out of 10 for me if when it launched, we had complete faith that there were no issues with it whatsoever. But I believe we had crashes and random bugs, because we had the game, I think, a week or two leading up to launch, and the developers were constantly patching this game leading up to launch. And so, taking care of, we found issues, they'd patch them, find issues, patch them, find issues, patch them. Like, they were really vigilant, but we just weren't totally sure. Like, there were still seemed to be some bugs. So for a lot of people, they had to replay certain segments of the game. Hopefully that's all gone, right? I'm assuming that's the first thing that they addressed when doing this, figuring out exactly how to make this all work properly this time around. But man, like, the experience as a whole was a 10 out of 10 experience. And it didn't look like it belonged on PSVR 1. That's for sure. It just didn't look like that. It looked like, we were like, well, how is PSVR 2 going to look better than this? But the funny thing is, actually, let me bring up this image. I shared this with you earlier, Myles.
It's absolutely incredible.
This image is crazy because when I was watching this trailer, I was like, oh yeah, look, they've added a bunch of new gameplay mechanics, right? They've changed a couple of things, but I didn't realize until going back. Izzard and I were talking in voice chat before this, and we were talking about how the PSVR 1 version actually compared to this new PSVR 2 version. And look at this. This is the best image I could get. I mean, just look how different this looks. I mean, from the character model to the trees in the background to the buildings, like, it seems like they've really reworked everything. And if you've seen my review for this, this woman's about to get hit over the head with the bat. Because I just couldn't stop hitting people in the head with items. So I really hope that one of the improvements Mighty Eyes makes with this game is they'll respond when you hit them over the head and be like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Right?
Yeah. When you talk about like an improved character model, usually when we say about that, we're referring to like the face and the expressions. But when we look at this comparison, it's their complete character model. Like, the posture just looks like more realistic as a human being, like the way the arms bend and stuff like that. They look a little less stiff, like retro games.
Yeah.
So I think there's just going to be so many small nuances in the way that it's been remastered. And actually on the blog post, they say Wanderer completely reimagined for the next generation of VR.
Right.
And looking at this trailer, that's what it feels like. It looks reimagined. It doesn't look like they've just given it higher, resolution and just like tweaked bits here and there. It feels like it's been made with love, like the first edition on PSVR, and the devs have gone away. And we might be giving them way too much credit. They're like, oh, can't believe we gave this impression. But it's like they've gone away and gone, right, guys, how can we, we were saying, oh, surely it's going to come as a launch title for PSVR 2. And it says on their Twitter account it's coming out 2024, right? So it's not even coming out this year.
Correct.
So it's going to be a while, but it's one of those games where I'm like, fair enough. This game's going to be incredible, and it's how I felt when it wasn't on the launch, list for PSVR 2. I was like, Wanderer, I have a feeling will come out at some point, and if it does, it will come when it's ready, and it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. And this actually creates so many more questions for me than answers, because we know that Wanderer was heavily funded by Sony, despite the fact that it came to PCVR or whatever. So it makes me wonder if this is like Song in the Smoke Rekindled, where Sony said, we believe in your fucking game and we want to give you the money to make this the best possible game on PSVR 2. And I think that would change people's opinions. If that's really what's happening behind the scenes, I think that would change people's opinions about where's Blood and Truth, where's Everybody's Golf VR, where's Astrobot Rescue Mission. Because if this is happening with Wanderer and it's like completely a full remake, it's like Wanderer 1.5, then are we getting a Blood and Truth 1.5? Are we getting Everybody's Golf VR 1.5?
Right.
Like, is that what's happening? Like with all of their games, it comes across right now because of Sony's silence as they don't care. But this silence could also mean, hey, we've got something special planned for you. Right, we don't just want to like half-heartedly port these games over and give you the thing you've already played or the thing that was really designed for PSVR 1. We want to give you that game reimagined for PSVR 2.
It's actually serving a certain portion of the community by bringing PSVR titles to PSVR 2. If they had just at launch had hundreds of PSVR titles with PSVR 2 upgrades, and they have the library at the beginning of how many launch titles there are going to be, like 40, but let's say it was going to be 80, and 40 or 50 of them were PSVR games that have been taken across. It would have had definitely a different flavor in the press of where are all the games? Oh, it's just ports from over. So I do think in some ways maybe Sony are being smart. Maybe that's also the way they're approaching it with state of plays or showcases. They're like, yeah, Wanderer is a fantastic game, but it has already been out, so we know it's going to do well. And also, if it's coming out next year, could be in a showcase in November, and all this sort of stuff. But my point is that this is a part of a strategy. Like, whether we like it or not, Sony has strategy, and it's very frustrating. But when I see stuff like this, I'm like, no, they know what they're doing. And as a VR gamer, I'm super, super hyped. Yeah. Listen, we're going to break down this trailer like big time in a second here. But before we do that, two things. One, Virtual Slayer Cat being fucking crazy generous in the chat, gifting 10 without Parole memberships. That was super nice of you. Thank you, Virtual Slayer Cat. And congrats to all those that received them.
Also that. Dude, I want to go over to the PlayStation Store, because I feel like even more so than the blog post, I feel like we got way more information about Wanderer, the Fragments of Fate. So I'm gonna bring this up and see if I can't read this. Oh wow, this is long. You ready for this? Let's do it. I wonder how many things I can mispronounce. It's gonna be great. Myles Dyer, a member for 3 months, says, I suppose this show is all right. It's aight.
Yeah, just to let you know, if you are a member and you click the money icon that you do to support, and where you would do a super chat or a super sticker, there's also one that will sort of say membership anniversary. I can't remember what it actually says now. So if you're a member, click it, because you might find that you're allowed to do a super chat that celebrates how many months you've been a member for. So
nice.
Give it a go.
Very cool. Very cool. Still learning how shit works around here. So the description reads, step into the unknown, embark on an epic time-traveling adventure completely reimagined for the next generation of VR. Introducing Wanderer Fragments of Fate, a remake of the award-winning, critically acclaimed VR time travel adventure game, Wanderer. Leave your passports at home. There's no telling where you'll go and who you'll become as you venture back through the ages and unravel the mysteries of time. Walk in the footsteps of those who've gone before, explore ages and events long lost to the hands of time as you find yourself thrust headfirst into thrilling stories from history in an adventure like no other. Discover rich worlds, encounter heart-pounding action, and solve mind-bending puzzles as you rewrite the past to reshape the future. A multitude of exciting new features in gameplay await keen adventurers. Filled with breathtaking new visuals, as we've already seen, you can now swim, jump, crouch, climb, zipline, and swing your way through time in true adventure fashion. Wander the Fragments of Fate is an unforgettable experience. Are you ready to take the jump? World-class full-body avatars, seeing yourself as these characters for the very first time, dynamically responsive avatar, as well as eye tracking, creates an experience designed to give players more presence than ever before. By harnessing cutting-edge PSVR2 haptic technology, you can now indulge in an unparalleled level of immersion with proximity and context-sensitive haptics, finely tuned to enhance your experience to the fullest extent possible. Discover and explore eras and places you could only dream of through diverse and rich worlds. Discover a diverse and eclectic cast of characters on your intrepid quest. Experiment alongside frenzied inventors, rock out to an endless crowd of hippies, defend ancient civilizations, decode covert messages, and uncover the secrets of the space race. Our brand new physics-driven... Dude, this goes on and on and
I'm
on.
all for it.
It is insane. It is insane. They talk about, I'm skipping way ahead here because we're going to cover some of this stuff in our breakdown. Wander the Fragments of Fate also introduces 3 new levels, giving plenty of opportunity for exploration of expansive and rich environments. Alongside this, a whole new combat system has been designed around a new set of weapons, ammo, and enemies, allowing players to be more creative with how they solve various combat situations they encounter through time. Dude, this is like insanity. This is insanity. Like, I'm trying not to oversell this, but like this is if this all happens the way that we think this will happen. I mean, this is obviously the best PSVR1 remaster that we're getting, and it's everything we asked for. Like, we seriously asked for this. We said, hey, like, how great would it be if they kind of made like a Wanderer's director's cut and they added some new places? Because of the way you kind of jump around in time to Quantum Leap style, it would be easy, right, to add new areas because they're all disconnected from each other. And so we kind of envisioned this long before they announced it, and it's happening. It's like sort of everything we wanted, but more.
It will be incredible, though, if the new locations aren't just tacked onto the end, but they've actually redone the puzzles. So actually these new locations you have to go to get items that you interact in the other worlds that we're already familiar with. It just all sounds impressive, and again, feels like a massive passion project. I know we're going to go through the trailer bit by bit, but I just want to say that the thing in the trailer that really blew me away and I thought about again and again was the reflections of seeing the different people that you are in these different places. Yeah. Like, it didn't even cross my mind. And I thought about it for a moment, and then when you read that, it confirmed it. When they're looking in the mirror, I was like, that's using eye tracking, I'm pretty sure. So you're going to have that presence where as you're looking in the mirror, your eyes are going to be moving where you're looking. So, man, I think it's going to be... Yeah, because I don't think there's any games that have done that yet. I mean, I know there are games that use eyeball tracking. I mean, look, PokerStars VR uses it, but it's not a proper mirror. It's a mirror that you have to teleport right in front of, and then you're there. This is, you can walk up to it. Is there going to be a bit where you wipe it clean? Like in that, on the one hand, I'm like, nah, that's probably just for the trailer. But then a part of me is like,
nah, they're going to do it.
This is Wanderer. Yeah. This is Wanderer. They're gonna do it. Yeah. All
right, a couple member chats. We've got Awesome Tatum says something like this, Myles. I think he figured it out. Virtual Slayer Cat says, I found the button. Dude, now that you found the button, don't stop pushing it.
A wall of green.
Brian's secret boyfriend says, Myles, I like your shirt. Hey, you're my secret boyfriend. Get the fuck back here. Mine. I'm very possessive, Myles. This is not cool. All right, guys, thank you so much for all the support. It's time to do this, man. It is time to break this down. And I do think that unless something went horribly, horribly wrong, I think I've got this all broken down. So let's see what happens here. Okay, starting off the trailer, we've got this. So this is This obviously the very beginning of the trailer. They hit us right over the head with something that's brand new, right? And that's Samuel the Watch, which we already had before. He had a few different abilities prior, but now he kind of periscopes, which is
No, it's the thought of just seeing that coming out at your wrist,
right.
Is
right, and so this is a brand new ability that you've got, and this. So right away they're saying, hey, there's more to this than a simple PSVR2 remaster.
The art design of this game is phenomenal. Like even just the design of that character on the watch was phenomenal.
Yeah,
like it just felt so grounded and unique, and I don't know how to explain it. It just like Wanderer really felt so novel. You know, we see a lot of time traveling ideas and that, but this was just they really believed in the world they were building, and this technology was great. So yeah, this periscope thing's incredible. And what about the box at the beginning? Because I looked at that and felt it looks new. I mean, I think the graphic fidelity, like the little button with the light around it, that's going to look good with the OLED screens.
Yeah,
and the haptics of pressing the button, like it's just going to be all the subtle things as well.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I can already feel the haptics of what Samuel decompressing into this big telescope type thing is going to feel like in the sense controllers, right? They're obviously going to take full advantage of that. I'm looking for something right now. Here it is. So this might be the ability that they're showing off in the PlayStation Store description. They're saying even Samuel, your trusty watch companion, has been given a makeover with new UI, storage system, time traveling upgrade, and an ingenious new feature, the Echo Diviner. This has to be the Echo Diviner, allowing you to locate lost items. This was a problem. If you ever played Wander on PSVR 1, this was a problem, right? Because they only let you carry a couple items in your inventory, right? Because you're like time traveling and doing all this stuff. So you can only take a couple things with you, throw a couple things in your pockets. The rest of the stuff you just threw wherever. Like you just, if you were like me, then you were just putting this shit on your couch, like on your countertops. Like your whole apartment was just getting littered with shit, and it would just stay there. And if you were like, I'm pretty sure I put that thing I'm looking for on the couch. Well, if it's not on the couch, where the fuck is it? Right? You can leave these things in any time zone or any location that you jump to. You can take this stuff with you and leave it there. There was one cog that I needed way late in the game that I had accidentally left on stage at Woodstock. And it took me hours of just wandering around looking for that thing. This is designed to help you find that shit. So it looks It looks like if you hover over where you found the item, right, where the item was originally, then it kind of tells you where it is. I don't know if that's exactly how this is working or not.
Well, yeah, because look, when it starts scanning, the display goes from the target to like the downward arrow.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that, I don't know. It's obviously interacting with it in some way. But yeah, I mean, the apartment, I just kept filling up with so much stuff. And I was like, all right, this part of the table. And then when stuff fell on the floor, and yeah, it was an absolute nightmare, especially with a game where there are so many different items from different realities, different moments in time. I do think, you were talking about the issues that you had leading up to launch on PSVR. I think that was a big challenge that they would have had for the limitations with PSVR, which was it was a very ambitious game.
Right.
And when it's remembering where you put items are, I mean, not to go too off topic, but I know it's a big conversation at the moment with Starfield. There's been a lot of issues regarding them saying it's going to only be 30 FPS. And there's a lot of reasons why. And one of the reasons is you're going to have all these different planets you're going to. And it's going to, and basically there are other things working on in the background to make sure that when you leave an item in your ship or in your base, it remembers it. We often overlook, the challenges that come with games where it has to remember where you've left items in what angle. When it's like you go back to a place you've been before and it just respawns everything to where it was.
Right.
It's a lot less tiresome on the programming.
Yeah, this was super ambitious, and the fact that they even got it running on the OG PS4 is pretty incredible. So, also, I do want to point out that even though we don't have the volume up on the trailer right now, you start off and the voice still refers to you as Asher. It was interesting when this trailer got revealed. I think a lot of people had the same reaction as me. I thought I was a girl. Like, I thought I played this whole game as the niece of my uncle, not the nephew of my uncle, and I think they were so, as far as gender went, as far as like pronouns and everything, I think they were very careful not to use any, right, and talk directly to you, and so you never quite knew who you were. Now I could be wrong about that, right? I could be wrong about that, and maybe I just kind of went in with that idea, and then it just stuck the whole time, or maybe there were clues. But yeah, so they do refer to you as Asher, so you are playing as the same character. And I just don't know if, if I just kind of misinterpreted that the first time around, which I think kind of brings us to the next segment of this trailer. Let's do it, Myles. Here it is. All right. What is happening here? All right, dude. Beautiful, right? This game was already beautiful on PSVR 1. It's crazy. It's crazy. This isn't just up-res. They redid all the buildings. They added so much foliage. They put a great PSVR without parole quote in here. I mean, like, they really went above and beyond here. This is beautiful.
It's an amazing quote. And I don't just mean that because it's PSVR without parole, but like when you see the character model, and so they've done location, they've done like inventive invention that you're using from your watch to scan. So that's like a game mechanic. Wow, mind blown. Then it shows you like the foliage and the environments. Wow, this looks absolutely stunning. Then it shows you the character model. And then it says a contender for best PSVR game of all time. Yeah. It's just as someone who's already played the game, as someone who remembers the review that you did, it still had a massive impact on me. I just love the confidence that they've made this trailer with.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, I don't pat myself on the back almost ever. But I do want to say I'm super thrilled. Like I really don't care about getting quotes on boxes or quotes in trailers. Like, I absolutely still get Without Parole is a very, very small YouTube channel. We're kind of scraping our way, through each week. And the fact that what is essentially the trailer that for the game I'm most excited for now, to have a quote in there that I wasn't even expecting. Like, so very frequently they'll ask and say, "Hey, is it okay?" They didn't even ask. And it just showed
really?
Up. Yeah, I was watching this.
What dicks? I complain, get it taken down.
I was watching this and I was like, but the thing is like sometimes you'll see quotes and you'll be like, oh yeah, I guess I did say that, but it's a little out of context, right? This is so in context. This quote is just as relevant as it was 2 years ago when this game came out. So I am absolutely thrilled to have that quote in there, and we're the only quote in the trailer. So
I was about to say that as well.
Not to pat myself on the back too much, but like I'm feeling really, really proud about this. So shout out to Mighty Eyes. Man. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that.
And it shows you the importance of playing the long game. Like you didn't write that review to get put on the thing, but it shows you that you reap what you sow, and it can take a while to come around. I mean, when did Wanderer come out?
I'd have to check, but here, Wanderer PSVR.
Yeah, we're both searching it. It came out on the 27th of the 1st last year of January. Is that right?
Oh, so we're about a year and a half away from
yeah.
And by the time it comes out, it'll be over 2 years.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But anyway, 2 points for that. One, it's like it's interesting to see how long it's between one game and the other. But the other point also was, you did that review and you worked on that a while ago, and things come about. And this is on PlayStation's official YouTube channel. You've had Shuei sharing your stuff earlier. Like, at the end of the day, there are certain things you can't ignore, and it's like this is an important part for the PSVR2 community.
Thanks for all the love in the chat. Et.2k9.now with the question says, who's Mighty Eyes? They're the developers. It used to be Odd Boy and shit. What was the other one? There were two studios that teamed up to make this, and then they said fuck it. And I believe they became one studio, and now they're called Mighty Eyes.
It was Odd Boy and wasn't it M Theory?
Yep.
Yeah, M Theory, and then they. What was the merger to do with though? Wasn't there something else that caused them to merge?
I don't know.
I just remember this. I didn't know if I'm not getting into that, but I just know there was speculation of like, what does this mean? Like, I guess we were speculating, could it mean that they're being acquired, by Sony or something? And they're like, well, to do that, we need to join forces as one, or something like that.
That would be amazing, dude. That would be talk about a team that should get acquired. Right, like we doubted, dude. We doubted this game big time before it came out. We said, is it possible that this game is going to live up to any of the expectations that the developers have for it? They keep putting out these amazing trailers, and then they said how much it was going to cost. They said it'd be $40, and it was coming out the same day as Zenith. And we said, no, what are you doing? There's no way this game's worth $40. Like, and we hadn't played it. And then we played it. We're like, we're so fucking sorry. You're absolutely right. The game. This is the game that you wanted to make. We are absolutely fucking blown away. And so, yeah. And so this is they have proven themselves as an amazing VR developer who just fucking pours love into their game and listens to the community. And if there's one VR studio that somebody should acquire, it's them. I mean, it means we'll probably only get one VR game from them a generation, but I bet it's going to be fucking awesome.
But we are in a time in gaming now where, although it's frustrating to some, that's what we're seeing with all the top tier AAA, developers. We're coming to a reality where games take more than 2 years to make now, often.
Right, and AAA games take 6 years to make.
Yeah,
with 1,000 people, 6 years.
Right. And that's why you need a good diversity of acquisitions, so that you go, right, well, you're doing this year's game, for example.
Yeah. All right, man, let's move on to the next part of this trailer. And that is the very first time you clear away the grime on a mirror and you see
this is so good.
Your reflection. There's so much to say here. Just
look at the eyes, dude. That's eye tracking. That's definitely eye tracking,
dude. Yeah. First of all, like, please tell me that this is like you said earlier. This is something that you actually do in the game, because remember there was this kind of silly thing you did where you had to get the spray bottle from from the current era and bring it back to the Mayan temple to like spray dirt off of like some.
Yes.
It was so silly, right? And so to just take your hand and wipe the dirt off of, like, this is far more realistic. And then how many games out there though, once you see your reflection, have a reflection of your character, first of all, and then second of all, like, have it look this good. Like, this is a proper fucking reflection here with like you said, eye tracking. There's blinking. Damn, dude, what a scene.
You were right about I was thinking about that, the cleaning bit where you use the squeegee bottle, wasn't it? And then you're scrubbing away to find out what's behind it. And I remember playing that on PSVR and just being blown away of that mechanic. Because often when we think about like the immersive mechanics of VR, it's what you're doing, like what motion are you doing? Okay, that feels great. But it's actually like what's happening in the virtual world that is equally, if not more important. And it was the fact of, you're scrubbing with your hand, but it's the way that you were doing it. If you scrubbed hard, there was this real tactile nature to it. So yeah, as long as it doesn't have reimagined on the mirror in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Remove that bit.
Oh, we forgot. It's a hot patch is coming up. Hot fix is coming up soon. Silver Nexus in the chat with the membership says, "Happy Friday, Gamecats." Happy Friday, Silver Nexus. We got
Friday.
Jazzbo VR with $5 tip says, "Seeing your image in the mirror gives me strong Quantum Leap vibes. I love it." Yeah, dude, absolutely. And there just weren't any like real mirrors in the first game. Like there were, like, and they're probably just dirty and you couldn't wipe them clean. But yeah, there were no reflections at all. So this is a huge addition. Samson143 VR with a $2 tip. I want to talk to Samson. Sorry, this is the thing now. It says late to the show, but about to start over. Happy Friday. Hey, Samson, we'll see you in about 59 minutes when you get caught up. Yeah, man. But this is just very cool. It's just very cool. It also looks like a real reflection, right? You can tell as he's lifting his head up, you can see through the dirt and the grime. Like, it's a proper reflection. Like, it's not just your character model mirrored. Everything is moving properly in that reflection. It looks good.
Honestly, I've never actually. I might have to think about this question for a moment, but I'm going to throw it to you.
Sure.
Is this the most excited you've been for a PSVR2 trailer? Because I think this is maybe not in terms of like what the title announcement is, but like there's not been a trailer that has astonished me, like has amazed me as much as this one.
It's really, really tough, man, because obviously because Resident Evil Village was so good. And they showed, and when they had that second VR trailer, the one that came out like just before the game came out, was showing a lot of VRAF interactions and some enemies that like I wasn't even familiar with, and just it was a lot of cool stuff. It's going to be hard to get me to be ever that excited about any PSVR2 game ever again. Like, this is dangerously close.
Since launch, is it easier then if I say since launch, post-launch games?
Yeah, this is probably it.
Yeah, I think it is as well. What does the chat think? I'll be curious to know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, I'm shockingly excited. Like, I'm not. It shouldn't be shocking that I'm excited, but I am shockingly the level of excitement that I am shockingly excited for Phasmophobia, though. Like, oh yeah, right.
Excited and not want to play it
because we've been saying like, oh, Walkabout and Poker Stars. These are a couple of our big social games that we've really needed in Phasmophobia. Now we've got a horror social game that's desperately needed as well. So yeah, I think that's where that comes in.
But that excitement goes with the term that I was always using when PSVR2 first came out with and it was the experience of Gran Turismo 7 and Kayak VR. It was giddy, like that feeling of, oh my god, I can't believe how good this feels.
Yeah.
And this is what this trailer makes me feel. I'm just like, I can't wait to experience that this world. And we're not even halfway through the trailer yet.
Jordan F says, what about Resident Evil 4 VR? I think it'll top Village. Dude, I think you're right too. But I need to see more gameplay, or I need to play it because like I'm just like need to get my hands on it. Because I think what they showed so far, at least artistically, and like the color schemes of the different areas, like it just seems to like, I don't know, be moodier than Village, which is weird. So yeah, I'm with you. Sorry, Sirens on my end. I think 4 might be better than Village. I think he's right.
Can we just say a huge thank you to ET2K9 now?
ET.2K.9, ET.2K.9, ET.2K.9. Yeah, we can say thank you to him. Thanks for gifting all those memberships.
Much love, much love.
Hell yeah. All right, man, we're going to go back to full screen here because it's time to tackle the next part of this trailer, which is right here. We're opening a door. I'm narrating because I fucking don't remember what this is. Okay, okay. This is the early part of the game here. This is when you first go on the river raft, or river ride, or whatever. And I think this is when you go through the very first building. And I could be wrong, but it's definitely within the first hour of the game. And my biggest complaint about the first hour of the game is that you would go to a window, and then, despite the fact you were using full locomotion all this time, you'd have to point out the window and hold down the move button and teleport out the window. Yeah. Right? Or like if you were standing on a big ledge and you wanted to get to the bottom, like down to the ground level, you have to teleport down there. There was just no way to do that with full locomotion. And the developers said, well, fuck it. Right? Here we're going to make this like this is legit VRAF, right? They've added jumping, they've added climbing, they've added you're just climbing rung over rung over rung to get from place to place. All of this is brand new, and so so all of those things that kind of killed the immersion for me the first time around, not only are gone, but are vastly improved in so many different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything to add to that, Brian. Agree with every single bit of that.
It's funny when you see it slow down and you see the hand clipping through some stuff and you're like, aha, yes, this is real, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, but
canceling my pre-order.
When he falls into the water I think I had confused this with like Village or something. I forget. I think there's a part in Village when you fall into the water and the monster comes and just kills you immediately. And so when he falls into the water here, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. That's when you fall into the water and the shark or whatever just comes and kills you. Not the shark, the croc or the alligator or whatever comes and kills you immediately. But the PlayStation Store confirms that you can actually swim now. And so like that's just like a whole nother thing. So
you can tame the croc.
You can tame the croc. Yeah, you can have a pet croc. That would be amazing. That'd be adorable too. Wally doesn't
store it in your watch. Yeah,
yeah, for sure. Wally is now a GameCast, specifically a White Tiger with the Canadian 220. Says, "Is this the redacted 1 and 2 AJ was playing?" No, it was not. No. We don't talk about redacted. So we're sorry.
Redacted 1 or 2. Yeah, 3 we might talk about, but
we might. Right? Yeah, we've also got to stop that too. Like there's no point in teasing everybody. That's silly. Okay, we're moving through this a little bit quicker at this point. Let's see. What's the next scene? Here we go. I'm going to bring it up right here. Zip lining.
This is the zip line. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and this is all sorts of the extra movements. I've got the worst memory in the world, Myles. So I actually had to check with people. I said, "Is there any climbing in Wanderer? Like, is there any point where you grab a ledge and pull yourself up?" And I mean, because again, it does a lot of things really well. But I guess your feet were always firmly planted on the ground. There was no climbing at all. And so when you look at this and you see, well, wow, they kind of like made this a different game, right? Look,
and it's the movement as well. Going back to the bit where falling into the water, the way you look at your feet and the way the character modeled, like it looks like you're falling into water. It's not just like your legs are stiff and they're just dropping to the floor. It's like you got the real sense of movement as you're falling to the water, right. And it's the same with all this movement. And like when jumping to the ledge, you get a real sense of stumbling. Like, I think there's just a lot of attention to detail that we're seeing in the character model that I think is just going to create a whole new sense level of immersion in this game.
I hope these segments here, I hope they're actually challenging, right? Because when they show you jumping off of a ledge and grabbing onto a rope and then swinging, grabbing another rope, right? Like, did you see the trailer for Toss? No, not Toss. Is it called Toss? What the fuck was it called? Crap. I already forgot the name of the game. But it's kind of a platformer.
Oh yeah, Toss.
Is it called Toss? It is called Toss. Yeah. Oh good, I'm not losing my mind.
With the banana on the icon.
With the banana.
Yeah.
Right. Like what they're trying to do is like kind of bring to mind or like basically classic platforming action, right? Whereas like, okay, we're going to challenge you, right? This isn't just like here to be immersive. They're almost obstacle courses, and like we're going to challenge you, and like, this is going to be a platforming segment of the game. Like Toss seems to be a platformer from top to bottom, but I really do hope that some of this stuff is just challenging, and it's like, oh, okay, this is actually a little bit difficult to do this, and it's not just something to make it a little bit more immersive. But this is, look at what when he's grabbing the ledge, when Asher's grabbing the ledge, this is something I've never seen before in a VR game. Usually you just grab and like your hands like kind of just hang on to
latch on
that one specific area. But it's like he's got his arms completely forward out. See, here it is. Slowing down. He's got his arms completely out and he's climbing up just by sort of crawling. Like, I mean, like it's way more realistic than anything I've seen.
Yeah.
Like that, I hope we're not just like watching a cutscene and being like and getting all real excited about it. That's pretty cool.
And it might be that when you're doing it, it does feel a bit more okay. It's not exactly what I'm doing, but it will still look and feel good. The other thing on this clip, Brian, is the zip line using the crowbar.
Yes.
And look, a game it did make me think of was when I was playing Cave Digger 2, and you could create these, hit these machines, it fires a rope across the map.
Yes.
And I was there thinking, how do you actually get down on it? And then you literally hook your pickaxe over, and then I made the mistake that I was actually using the actual handle, so I was trying to like hold it on both sides, and it glitched out. What you're meant to do is just let the actual top of the pickaxe hang on it, and it's sometimes a bit glitchy, but it's a super cool thing. And so to see it with this, yeah, that's awesome. Just simple things.
Yeah.
And when you think Call of the Mountain was like, yeah, it's climbing done right. I'm just. This just looks way more interesting and in depth for traversal.
Well, right. I've climbing done right for a climbing game, right? Like I don't really ever want to play a game that's focused just 90% on climbing ever again. Games like this or games that implement climbing into VR as just one of the many things that you're doing throughout the course of the game, it feels good. Right, they kind of nail climbing and jumping and shooting and whatever. Real quick here, I saw in the chat, Jordan F says, "Is there a lot of action and combat in this game, or is it more exploration and puzzles?" There is definitely some action and combat in this game. I don't want to talk about it any more than that because I feel like we're getting into spoiler territory if we talk too much about it. But I will say that I was surprised for them to talk about kind of revamping the combat engine and giving you a bigger arsenal of weapons to use, because so I think that means they're probably going to add more combat into the game, likely because I mean, Myles, did you see any combat in the first hour or two of the game that you played, or a couple hours, whatever it was?
I mean, I did see combat. I don't know if it was that soon. I don't think so.
Yeah. So maybe it would be cool if they kind of like space it out and say, hey, like maybe gradually like upgrade your weapons and stuff.
Although you do use, it's in the clip here, the flare gun. I mean, there is things that you shoot and stuff like, but not actual like for long what you'd regard as. And would you say hitting crocodiles with the paddle, like in your review, is that's combat?
I mean, I do it to keep them away. I know what you do with paddles. You do it to dispose of your enemy or dispose of wildlife.
I forgot I was walking into that trap. Can we change the subject before
Yeah, we can.
Only crocodiles, though.
Okay.
That attack me.
Yep. I don't remember what clip this was. I believe so. I think we're on to the second to last one on our run of show.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, thank you.
With super fast load times.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is a quick little. One. I think that the inclusion of this segment was to literally show how fast the load times are. I think that's literally the only reason they showed it like this in the trailer. Is just to be like, because Myles, what did you play this on? PlayStation 5?
Yeah, I would have done. And to be honest, loading times were amazing, because I just remember I used to always just like mimic just like charging up, like when it went white I was like, here we go, we go through time. Like I just got lost in it, and it didn't feel like you were waiting. It was just, it would go white and then it would load. I was impressed with the loading times on the PSVR.
Yeah, I was impressed too. That was definitely a PlayStation 5 thing though. On the Pro it was slightly slower, and on the PlayStation 4 there were gaps of time between putting whatever item it was into Samuel and then appearing at your destination. But this is, I think this is very, very intentionally showing exactly this, saying, hey, this is instant. We're using full power of the PlayStation 5 SSD, seamless. It's gonna be cool.
And look at that reflection. The astronaut that's lying down looks like me after a night out. I can totally relate.
Oh, next, we're on the next one.
Isn't that he teleports to the moon?
Yeah, here we go. This is the final clip here. So we're on the moon. The reflection on the moon. The reflection near the Mayan temple.
Oh yeah, we got that one. Yeah.
Yep.
And look at the reflection on the watch. On the, like, there's multiple reflections going on.
We had no idea who we were at Woodstock. Now we know. Dude, they found excuses to put mirrors everywhere, right? And this definitely gives us the quantum.
Look at that,
leap. Yeah. This gives us the quantum leap feeling that we need. Like, if anybody's watched Quantum Leap before, like Sam Beckett didn't know who he was right? Like he was trying to figure it out, and then right before the theme song rolled, he'd find a mirror, he'd look into it, see who he was, and say, "Oh boy." And so you get to have that "oh boy" moment every single time. The only time you had
Can I
any,
ask though, Brian?
yeah, talk to me.
Did we in the PSVR version? Did we have different hands? Like, were we actually different characters in the different areas?
Yes.
Because I kind of like, okay, yeah, I just couldn't remember. Because when I'm seeing this, I was like, it's only because I'm seeing the full character models now. But I was like, did we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also only had hands. So so people who hate floating hands are going to be very happy that we have like full bodies now, full everything. Shit, I completely forgot.
Yeah, sorry, man.
No. Oh, wait, no. I was going to say the only time in the original game you ever got anything like this was the Mayan Temple, because when you're at the Mayan Temple, there were two different bodies you could jump into, and one was on the top ledge of the temple, and the one was on the lower ledge. So you could look down and see the person that you would later become, and then look back up when you became that person and see the person that you were, and that's how you kind of knew. But now it's a lot more immediate and accessible.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. And is this the last? Was this the last clip?
Yeah, it will be. What was it?
That was it.
It was just the new. Yeah, the I remember being blown away by the clip with the playing the band on the stage, which by the way might be on the previous clip. I don't know because I'm watching the trailer on my own player.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to keep with the timestamps. But I remember when seeing the trailer being on the stage, I was amazed by that. And when you play the game, it still looks impressive. But when you look closely, the crowd does look.
It's just
very. They look like paintbrush strokes. Yeah. So I'm sure. Obviously, it's going to be similar again. But I'm just really curious to know with the fidelity, like how does the crowd look on PSVR 2? It's different things like that are going to really showcase like what has been possible with the new hardware in all these ways. I'm not expecting the audience to be individually well-crafted character models.
You're
not. I'm
not
not under that illusion. Yeah.
Well, hold on. I've got a big screen here. We're gonna go to Woodstock in just a second, and I'm gonna get real close to the screen because I am curious about this, and I've got this running at 25% speed, so hopefully to give us a good idea.
Well, you can see people standing on cars in the crowd and stuff, and there's like fires in the crowd and stuff. So you can see different people doing. So that in itself, there is detail. Like you can actually see different stuff happening in the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Cool. I'm trying to remember if there was manual reloading in the World War II scene, and I can't remember if there was or not. Maybe somebody in the chat can remind me. While I look at the Woodstock scene that's playing right now, and I get real close to the camera, we got the drumsticks in hand. Here we go, Myles. They're all animating.
Yeah.
Every single person in that crowd is animating individually. So whether they're detailed or not, it'll be a huge step up from what we had before.
Yeah.
Hey, Myles, you want to play a game of 20 questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. So I'll make sure we didn't miss any tips here. We did.
That we have
Yeah.
I love that we just have a game that's coming out next year to look forward to. It's sometimes when games get announced, it's like next year, the instant thought is, oh, that's ages away. Why is it not sooner? This is a game I'm actually like, this is a really nice thing to continue to look forward to.
Double M Gaming with a $2 tip says, notice she moved out of the way when the gun points at her. Like when the flare gun, right, that you attack that woman with in the trailer. Yeah, I think there's going to be lots of subtle additions like that. Things that we're not even going to notice have been added. Which you know what, we got one viewer takeover question, guys, to handle before we kill the show. This is a good reminder to join the Discord. Click the link in the description below. You come join our Discord, hang out for free, and a good reason to is because you can put viewer takeover questions into the viewer takeover channel, and I always kind of look at that before we start up a show. And although everyone tries to answer the viewer takeover questions and keeps me from finding good ones, I still find good ones now and then. So this is a good free way to get your question into the show. just like shades of particulate matter. I don't know what particulate is. I don't know.
Yeah, particulate matter. Yeah.
Particulate.
Yeah.
Okay. It says, do you think there will be an upgrade option for Wanderer Fragments of Fate? Also, as someone who only played the first few hours on the PlayStation VR1 version before deciding to wait for the PSVR2 version, do you think I should play the original before the remaster comes out, or wait so I can experience it most of it for the first time in its upgraded form? Myles, what are you gonna do?
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna wait. Because that was kind of the decision I made on PSVR before PSVR2 was even out. I was like, I'm enjoying this. Got other games to play. I just have a feeling this is going to be on PSVR2 one day. I'll wait until then. So yeah, my quick answer is just wait. It's going to be worth the wait. What a wonderful, for people that have never played it. Obviously, we don't know what the game's like yet, so we can't be absolutely certain. But if it's better than what we've played on PSVR, you're in for an absolute treat. The first part was about whether or not there's going to be an upgrade option.
Yeah.
My feeling is it won't be a free upgrade; it will be a discount. But I could be wrong. What do you feel?
Myles. I've been all over the place when it comes to PSVR1 remasters on PSVR2. I kind of scoffed a little bit at Enhance for the $10 charge for Tetris Effect and Res Infinite, and those were just literal ports of the PC VR versions with some advanced haptics, which is nice, really nice. Those are great ports, and I didn't the cost I think is justified. Scoffed extra hard at Polyarch for making us buy Moss Book 1 and 2 all over again, even though they were cheaper than they were the first time. And then I looked at all these studios out there who just gave us free upgrades. And I gotta say, hey, great job. Like, great job for, rewarding your fan base. This is completely different to me. This seems like more of a remake than The Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah.
That everybody paid $70 for, right? Like,
Not me.
This is, I feel like this is a game that has been given so much love and so much attention that if they decide to just charge everybody again, like, I would feel really bad if they get any pushback for that, because I'm assuming somebody in the chat was jokingly said that the second this team was done making Wanderer, they were told to, okay, now start making Wanderer, right? Which means that, like, if the numbers add up, if the years add up, this game that was years in the making got another 2 years of love. And so I don't think that I don't think it would be wrong of them to charge again, just because there's so many new gameplay elements. There are so many new places to visit. There's new abilities, new mechanics, jumping, climbing, ziplining, swimming. I mean, it's practically Wanderer 1.5. So I can't see them giving a free upgrade. Maybe charging, like, with an upgrade path, like some kind of amount.
Yeah, like a $10 less if you've already owned it.
Yeah, like a discount, right? Instead of $10 to upgrade, $10 off. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just looking at your review of Wanderer to see what the price was when it came out. So it was $39.99.
Yeah.
What do we think about this one? It's probably going to be similar ballpark figure. More? I
don't know.
Probably could be $49.99.
I mean, I think it could be. I mean, that's that's the level of quality we're getting here. And obviously everything that we're saying is speculation. We're saying if this game turns out the way that we think it'll turn out, like if this game turns out, if something goes horribly wrong and they screw up all these mechanics, then, like, well, obviously we'll have a different conversation once the game's out and once we've had a chance to play it. But based on all of this speculation and based on this trailer, if this was a $50 game, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave us, $10 or $20 off to upgrade. I wouldn't be surprised. What I would be surprised about if they gave us any kind of free upgrade. Waleed is now a Gamecat, specifically White Tiger, in the chat with the Canadian 220 says, I will be okay with the $20 upgrade like Creed.
Okay.
So we'll see how this all turns out. I'm very curious. But that's kind of where I'm at with this. Because they could have given us a free upgrade if they had just up-res the whole thing and made it compatible with the Sense controllers. That's worthy of a free upgrade. This is completely different. All right, man, let's do some 20 questions. I think it's your turn to host, which means Myles is going to pick a PlayStation VR 1 or 2 or both game, and it's our job to ask him 20 yes or no questions with only 6 minutes on the clock and figure out what game that is. Myles, do you have a game already picked out?
I do, Brian. I do indeed.
All right. Well,
and it's a game. It's definitely a game.
It's definitely a game. Is that one? One.
No, you haven't asked a question. Oh, no, you did ask a question. Yeah, it is.
Oh, Waleed said in the chat with the 220 says, remember, a lot of us got it for cheap in the $10 sale. I had forgotten that this game went on sale for $10.
Wow.
So I mean, even more so, I guess. But hey, you know what? We'll see what happens.
So just wait for the $10 sale in 2025.
Yeah, there you go. Right? If the price is an issue, then just fucking wait. Dan Kiefer in the chat says, Brian, you'd pay $60 for Resident Evil 7 on PSVR2. Dan, that's a fucking lie, and you know it. I would pay $100 for Resident Evil 7 on PSVR2.
Well, I just have to say, Brian, today I just spent over $200 on the collector's edition of Spider-Man 2.
Oh, you did?
Because it comes... Yeah.
Oh, congratulations on your second mortgage.
Yeah, I think it's my first... Is it my first collector's edition of a game? I think it is.
Ever?
I mean, I've bought special editions before, but like I'm talking about when it's like the absolute top tier, where it comes with a statue that's never less than $100. But it looked awesome, and it's 19 inches, so it's going to be a proper tall statue. Yeah, and also it's not out to October, so now I don't have to. I'm not going to get it delivered and be like, oh god, that cost me so much. By that point, it will be in my rearview mirror, so it'll feel like a gift. Oh, I forgot I bought this.
Do you know the song "Rearview Mirror" by Pearl Jam?
Yeah,
I fucking love that song. The second you said it, I just heard the bass line and I was like, all right, let's do this. Hey, real quick, I know I've said 20 questions like 3 times now, but since we've got a small crowd right now, we've got a nice like low key, casual kickback Friday crowd, right? There's only about 300 of you here, which is nice and relaxing.
Press the like button if you haven't already. Thank you very much.
There you go. And anybody showing up later, thanks for joining.
Yeah,
we've got some stuff going on in terms of the Gamecat Meetup. Now, remember, the Gamecat Meetup isn't until March of 2024, right? So it seems like a long time away, but if you don't get hotel rooms now, because it's happening during PAX East, it's going to get real fucking expensive real fast. So I want to let you guys know where I booked. You ready for this? Because this is, I don't think this deal is going to last very long. It's the Hilton at 811 Mass Ave in Boston. The zip code on that is 02118, if that helps. I'm saying from March 21st to March 24th. Now, I was able to choose 1 king size bed or 2 queen beds, right? So I got 2 queen beds just in case. I'm trying to figure out, a lot of shit's up in the air right now. I don't know who needs to stay with me or whatever. The grand total of that was $590 for the entire weekend, which means that for accommodations during the Gamecat Meetup, if you split that with somebody else, you can each have your own queen size bed from Thursday, March 21st to Sunday, March 24th for less than $300 a piece. And just letting you know, other hotels, that's about 3 miles from the convention center, so we'll probably have to Uber or walk a little bit here and there. But just to let you know, hotels near the convention center that are filling up even faster are charging $349 right now per night, and I'm saying the entire weekend for under $300. So just letting you guys know this is happening. And if you're going to come to the meetup, It is absolutely time. Rody posted the link to the Discord in the chat. That's the best way to get organized, right? A lot of people are going to want to split rooms and find other people to room with. So
I wrote down the dates on my calendar, so that is something I will look at trying to make happen. It'd be good to meet you all.
I agree. It'd be amazing if you flew in from England, Myles, for the Gamecat Meetup.
We'll see.
Right. Yeah, it's happening, man. It's happening. And don't forget, we just told hundreds of people, and there's a lot of shit already. Like I've already talked to other people on Discord, and so like again, this hotel is going to fill up really fast. That's it. Cool. We'll talk more about the Gamecat Meetup as we get closer. We'll try to keep you updated. But of course, we've got an entire channel on Discord to help keep you up to date on that kind of stuff. So, so cool. Hopefully, we'll see you in 8 months. Finally, for the 4th time, Myles. Let's do 20 questions.
I'm ready to play 20 questions.
All right. Do it. I got 6 minutes putting it up on the clock up on the counter, the way that Jeremy likes it, and go. Is this game on PSVR2 or even announced for PSVR2? One or the other's fine.
Yes.
Okay. Was this game on PSVR1?
No.
Okay. That limits it quite a bit. Does this game have any kind of multiplayer component?
No.
Okay. Are you racing in this game?
No.
Does this have full locomotion?
Yes.
Okay, guys. Okay, Looper, we'll go with you. Is it horror themed? You're AJing the fuck out of this.
I haven't so far, to be fair. I'm going to say there's horror elements.
Okay. That's going to narrow it down big time, you guys. Nah, it can't be Red Matter. There's definitely no horror elements in Red Matter 2. Red Matter 1, I would say borderline. Is it mostly a puzzle game?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Greg Hodges is asking, is it sci-fi themed?
No.
Does it take place on... No, I was going to ask about Call of the Mountain because the Once and Future VR King was asking about it, but that's not... There's no horror even remotely in that. Okay. Do you do shooting like with guns in this game? Are you shooting things?
No. Not guns. No.
All right. What other kind of is this more than one game? Like is it a compilation of any kind?
No. 10.
Sorry,
10.
Sorry, Ian Stanbridge. We tried. All right. Indie Soul loves VR. Would this end up on a top 25 list, Myles?
No.
Oh, it's bad. Oh, wait a minute. Does this does this take place in an existing IP? Like maybe there are other games in this universe? Yep. Yeah. Do you control multiple characters in this game?
You do.
Yeah. Is this by any chance Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue?
Yeah, it is by any chance.
It is by any chance. Okay.
Yeah, it is. That's 14.
Woohoo! Yay!
Do you want to take a guess? No, it is Brian. It is Hello Neighbor. Search and Rescue. Awesome Tatum was first in there.
No, I missed
yeah,
it.
I
Sorry,
got thrown
Tatum.
off. Yeah, I got thrown off a bit with the horror thing because
Oh yeah, I see.
yeah, it's. I mean, I scream when I played it. It's definitely got moments that scares you. It's creepy, so it has horror elements. And when you said, "Do you shoot in it?" Not guns, but what can you shoot in it?
Yeah,
Slingshot. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. Did you see that the developers of this have put out a statement about they're doing their damnedest. They're going in and trying to fix everything. They're saying, they've seen all the complaints, they've seen all the bugs, they've seen people clipping through the environment, being thrown off of ledges, and all sorts of physics problems. And they said this is a physics-based game, and so that's where the problems come in. And so they're trying to fix everything, including smooth turning, everything. So it seems like. Yeah, it seems like they're trying to make good on this, and so I'm very, very interested in getting back to this at some point and re-reviewing it, because I thought this had I think this had potential. I just hope they clean up the graphics and make it visually appealing, because this very much looked like a Quest game. Like, you just sharpen it up, man. Like, it just looked rough.
It was the fact that as soon as the game starts, you look in the settings. There's no smooth turning. You look out the window and the house across the road is like literally shimmering with the sort of aliasing, the jagged edges.
Yeah,
absolutely horrific. And then the main issue was that it's got a really, really cool mechanics. I like the puzzles. I like the way the game works. But when it's a game about not getting caught, and there were bugs that meant that you did get caught, or that you heard the dude running around the house when he's not actually nearby, those are game breaking in my opinion. And it was just, for me, it was a real shame. I played an hour of it before it crashed, and I did have a fun time with it, but I just felt like this game does need fixing. They did release an update about a week after, which I didn't play, but hearing what you just said now, the fact they've actually come out and acknowledged it as well, yeah,
it's good.
Fair play to them.
And we're past the halfway mark of the month, Myles, which means that in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, we should see that switchback patch as well, because those guys said they're addressing everything too. So a couple of the not so great releases that we got over the last month or two could end up being much better.
That's really interesting you say that, because Switchback and Hello Neighbor were two games I did Let's Plays of. And when I finished the Let's Plays, I said, the next time I play this is if they fix it. Like, that's just genuinely how I felt, which is, there is a good game here, but I don't want, if they're going to fix it, I want to still experience new content in the game. I don't want to play it all the way through and then just play it again once it's all fixed. Like, no, I will wait until it gets sorted. So on both accounts, huge respect for them making the efforts to get it sorted.
Yeah, 100%. So, Myles, tell everybody again what's happening on your channel this weekend. You're doing a shit ton of Let's Plays.
Yeah. So on my channel, youtube.com/Myles, starting tomorrow at 5 p.m. my time, which is going to be 9 a.m. Pacific. It'll be noon on Eastern. And then basically every 2 hours, I'm going to play another PSVR2 game. I'm going to be doing 3 on Saturday. And just to remind you what those games were, I'm just quickly loading up my channel because I've got them all. They're all scheduled on my channel. If you go to my channel, youtube.com/Myles, and go down to Let's Play, you can see and click notify on all 6 of them. So there's going to be Pixel Rip 1978, Transformers Beyond Reality, Survive, Rhythm Planet, Beat Saber, and Humanity. And this is a part of my new effort to play every single PSVR2 game as a Let's Play. And as soon as I announced that and created about 80 thumbnails, all these games got announced.
Right.
It was just because we see the showcase, okay, PlayStation are taking their time. That's cool. Maybe I can play a massive catch up. And then it was like, oh god. But I'm really up for it. And there's a lot of games that I did play at launch. I did Let's Plays when I did sort of PSVR2 came out, and I played a lot of different games. But I am intending on doing a separate Let's Play for each game, and they'll always be from the beginning. Beat Saber is an interesting one because I was always interested about the copyright stuff. I know that if you play the original soundtrack, there's no content ID, so you're not going to get any claims.
Right.
I did approach Beat Games because my question is, and for those that don't know how it works with claims, there are two things that can happen when you use music that you don't own the rights to, or three things. One is that it doesn't get claimed because they haven't been doing their job properly, the record labels. But if they do claim it, very uncommon. But the two things that could happen if I play some of the DLC packs on Beat Saber, let's say like Queen or Lady Gaga, one is that you just get a claim, and what that means is they've said you're using music that you don't own the rights to, you can't monetize this, we'll run ads on it. If that happens, I'd be totally fine with going ahead with it. The issue is, the other thing they can do is say, you don't own the rights to this, we don't allow this, and we're doing a copyright strike, or just do a block, which means it takes down the whole live stream, which just renders it useless. I know you had issues with the live stream with Apple, where they actually and actually I was saying it in the chat at the time, but you were right to restart it. But when that happened for me, when I was playing on one of my live shows, some old like trailers for TV shows, like it wasn't, again, like Apple was like, out of all things to get a claim for, it did that sign saying like this has been ended, but eventually it does kick back in again. It's a really, really weird thing, but it's just very, very frustrating. So yeah, as things currently stand for Beat Saber, I'm just going to play OST stuff. But you know what? There's 5 OSTs, and they're all really, really good. So it should be a good time. I might multiplayer it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be concerned at all about getting copyright strike. I would mostly be concerned about once you get to a certain point and you've like gotten too many copyright claims, then that video just gets blocked eventually. Like I've done like an hour plus stream of just playing all sorts of different Beat Saber songs that will never be seen again because people who were there watching it live got to see it, and the second it was over, that stream was blocked. So,
dude, I just love to play Linkin Park.
Shit, guys, I don't have a clip of the week ready. That's dumb.
Do I? I don't have a clip of the week because I haven't been about. No, I don't. I already showed.
Well, you know what? We're gonna make it up to you next Friday. We're gonna give you 2 clips of the week. How about that? That's the only way. Whoa. That's the only way to make this right, guys. Don't forget to go subscribe to Myles so you can watch 6 live streams on his channel this weekend. Don't forget to, if you don't already subscribe to Without Parole, you should, because hey, man, like, you know, maybe one day I'll finish that 30 hidden gems in 30 days series, because that's a thing.
And get us to 100,000. We're approaching it.
That's true. Yeah, slowly, but yeah, we're getting there. Yeah,
slow and steady's best.
Right. So this is my time to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you very much, everybody who helps this channel run. Obviously, all the moderators. Jamie puts us up on podcast services. Hopefully he's doing that. I haven't been keeping up. I'm very, very sorry. Also, Sci-Fi Gamecat Henry, who puts timestamps into the show after the fact. Plus, everyone who supports the channel financially, not just being a member here, but also being a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/withoutparolegames. Also, anyone who tips during the chat, anyone who participates in the chat, anyone who hangs out and helps us during 20 questions, and of course, all of you who sit back and watch the show and don't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. Happy Friday, Myles.
Happy Friday, Brian. Happy Friday, Gamecats. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next time.
I accidentally hit the button. And now we're going. Bye. I was desperately trying to look for a clip of the week during that 10 seconds. But John Tavito in the chat says, Brian finally read a message from me. Well, that's because you just spam lies. John Tavito, he said it took 5 years.
Lies.
I see your comments all the time. Right? Is that not accurate? Don't you just put random shit in the chat and then we have to go, that's not true. That's not true. I think that's you. Anyway. What are you gonna do tonight, Myles? Anything good? You gonna play anything, or are you gonna go to bed?
Dude, it is so warm in the UK at the moment. I mean, I'm looking forward to opening all the windows with no fear of moths coming in. Now the studio lights are going to go off. I'm tempted to maybe play a bit now. I might go. I actually played on Poker Stars VR. Poker. Like, I've not played the poker component.
That's good. No, that's good.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. And I've never been a huge poker fan, but really good time. Do enjoy it. Yeah, just so many different games to dive into. But what was mentioned earlier about Pavlov, that makes me want to dive back into that. But I tell you what, dude, having an extra SSD installed in my PS5, just every time there's a new game and you download it via the phone app, and you're like, I don't even have to worry about shuffling stuff around. It's just fill it up.
I've got a hard drive that's sitting outside of my PlayStation 5. Is that the same thing? Because I keep forgetting to put it in. It's not an external drive. I just haven't installed it yet.
Oh, I see.
It's been sitting on my desk for like 6 months.
Oh, I thought you meant you were using it. No. It was just that it was like on the external. Okay.
Nope. I've got so much shit to do. The little things like that should only take 5 minutes get kind of pushed off.
But it does feel good when you get it done. I had a few tasks last week that have just been hanging over, and then once you get it done, it's like, yeah, sorted.
Yeah.
Do it, Brian.
Yeah. Everybody have a great weekend. If you're celebrating Father's Day, then have a great Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And if you have a father, make sure you tell him Happy Father's Day from Brian Paul and Myles Dyer. Good night. Happy